Hey, what's up, buddies? Sorry it's been a little while. It's been below freezing for the past several weeks, so I haven't been driving the GTI since all I have are summer tires. But anyways, we're going to talk a little bit about editing PID lists. I ended up building this PID list editor. You can find it on GitHub for Driven MQB-WQ. Anyways, yeah, so it's this PID list editor. It's just a simple HTML file. I have instructions and everything, how to use it, how to download it. But you can go here and you can see the source code, and you're going to download the raw file, and you can launch the pidlisteditor.html. It's going to go ahead and open up in your browser, and I'm going to go ahead and import a base list. And I have an old PID list. This is one that I've been using for quite a while, but I want to add a few things to it that are actually missing. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that to upload. And I have it all color coded. So all of the active PIDs, meaning the ones that are checked, are green, and the unchecked ones are yellow. Duplicates are going to show up in red. So this PID list that I've been using forever, I actually found that it has a few duplicate IDs. So I'm going to go ahead and uncheck those so that sorts out that. You can also click on this to see what the duplicates are, or you can also search. So I'll do injector pulse width, and you can see I have the pulse width set for cylinders 1 through 4, and I also for some reason had a copy of the exact same thing for cylinder 1. So I'll go ahead and uncheck that. Go ahead and clear that out. Now, when you want to add more PIDs, this is why I built this thing. A couple weekends going back and forth with Claude. But anyways, we're going to pull in this PID list ECU HSL. This is actually the file from the drive from the Facebook group that I'm adding to my existing list, because there are a few things that are on there that I don't have added. So we're going to just take a quick look through here and we'll see. Take a look. We don't have any duplicates yet. There are some duplicates that are inactive, but I'm going to start by sorting it by not by active status, sorting it by name. So I'll do that. That way I can kind of see things easily. And I can pick and choose the different PIDs that I want to copy over or change or whatever the case may be. This is a metric list that I wanted to use, and at one point I accidentally did not rename it Celsius, so set that. You can also just change it there if you want, but it doesn't matter. The blue PIDs are calculated, meaning they are an address of 0xFFFFFFF. The calculated PIDs are based off of using variables, so anywhere that it has map, if you search for map, you can see the map is set to the map variable, the manifold absolute pressure. So that's how those calculated PIDs work. You can set your own variables and do all kinds of stuff with that. When you set variables, you can use these as triggers. So if you only wanted to log when you're above a certain amount of airflow, you can do it when map exceeds, 100 or whatever value you want. So I'm going to go ahead and clear that out. So right here I can see I do not have a 0 to 60 foot, but I'm not going to worry about that because my car is front wheel drive and it's just going to spin, and probably isn't that accurate anyways, but whatever. I'll go ahead and do quarter mile and eighth mile calcs. Come down through here. A bunch of these were things I added. These are for engine roughness related PIDs. That was for helping a friend diagnose something on his car a while back, but that's going to require its own video to talk about. It's interesting stuff though. This fuel trim is basically short-term fuel trim plus long-term fuel trim. So I definitely want to make sure that those, because that is a calculated PID, I want to make sure that I have those PIDs assigned. All right, so it's assigned. This one's assigned to STFT, but the one that's actually active isn't. So going to do that. And we'll do long-term fuel trim. And same thing with this. So I need to assign that. Long-term fuel trim. All right, cool. So that should be resolved. And now this equation is referencing the correct things. I don't have any of my MPI related things enabled because I don't have MPI. So I'm not too concerned about that. Another with that. Let's see here. Now there are different knock values that the ECU can save. I'm just going to leave the ones that I have checked because I'm just not too worried about it. Let's see here. Lambdas, set, misfires, that sounds good. We have misfire sum also, but they are different addresses, so whatever, why not? Oil temp MDI, this one actually reads directly what the dash says, so that's nice. I have my PCV sensor because the PCV mean voltage is read off of my secondary air injection wiring that I repurposed for the PCV sensor. So that's why I have these PCV volts, because this one is assigned to PCV volts, so I'm using that one as a variable in this equation, and then this one here is using ambient pressure to factor out the difference in the ambient pressure to calculate that into effect. That way I can read it in PSI rather than like kPa or whatever. So I have all those things checked. Wastegate flow desired. Yeah, why not? We'll add that. All right, so I have all the things that I want to checked. I'm going to go ahead and only show the active and the calculated things. And I'm going to sort again. If I want to drop the sort and just have everything appended at the end, I could reset the sorting order. And in that case, it just resorts back to the first list and then the second list on the bottom. So, but I'm going to sort it by name. Sort. And there we go. Now you'll see here it's showing 301 items, but there's only 222 selected. As you saw while I was doing this, you can you can check or uncheck these different statuses to see them, but they're still the ones that are selected. When you export the logging list, the final logging list, it doesn't matter like what it's filtered on, it's going to export everything that is checked. So I'm going to go ahead and export that now. So we'll call it A05 metric logging list, Feb 11, 26, hit OK, and going to allow that. So when that saves, now I have a logging list with all the stuff that I want, and that's cool. So to go a little bit more in depth as to like what some of these rows or columns mean, you're not going to need to mess with the units or the equations too much. If you want to convert things from different equations, you can do that manually, or you can use some of the PID lists from the drive that are already in SAE format. However, I'm not going to get into that. As far as the formatting goes, the way that these are, 0%01.0 means there are 0 decimal places. %01.1f means there's 1 decimal place. 2f is 2 decimal places. So that's how you can choose, how many decimal places out it's going to read. Address is the address. If you're getting these lists from the drive, then leave that be. Leave the length alone. Leave the signed property alone. Program min and program max. These are going to determine the extent of the gauges on the app. It doesn't mean that it's not going to read above or below that, but if you want to set your gauge minimum to 0 and maximum to 1,000, that's what you're going to do. The warning min and max, if you've had any of your gauges like flashing at you incessantly while you are driving around and stuff, that's what determines that. If you're exceeding either of these values, it's going to flash at you. And I think you can actually change the flashing properties and stuff in the settings, but I haven't messed with that. Smoothing is a value from 0 to 1, and basically smooths out the values for, like, because some of them are pretty abrupt in the as direct from the ECU. You can disable, you can have it on your logging list but disabled if you want. So for a bunch of the roughness PIDs, I actually have a bunch of those disabled because, like, I want to have them on my list just to have them, but they're not enabled. They're not actually actively logging unless I need to, because that was a pretty specialized purpose. And then the last thing we're going to talk a little bit about is the tabs. This is where you're going to determine if you want to create custom tabs and or order your gauges. You can name what tabs that are going to go to. If you want to have it on just a braking tab, you can put it under braking. That's what I have. This one is logging ABS intervention, for instance. So that's where that goes. Now, if you want to start specifying certain properties, you can do that. If you look at, if you use the pipe symbol, so that's, shift and the key right beside, should be right above your enter key. Using the pipe, you can extend properties for in this case, the chassis tab. Calling out the number 0 puts it in the index 0. So on the screen of your phone or tablet or whatever, you've got typically 8 spots that are visible at any given time. So 0 is the furthest upper left corner. The one beside it would be 1. So that's how you can specify the order that the gauges show up on a given tab. You can continue using the pipe. In this case here, even though this PID isn't activated for me, this is the default tab. You are specifying it to be a round gauge, not the standard default, like, square looking gauge. And it is in the index 8 position, so it's actually the 9th position on that screen. So, and each of the tabs, if you are specifying things to be on multiple tabs, you separate the tabs and those properties of the tabs by a period. So it's on my air tab with no specified order. Then it's on my track tab, and it is using the pipe. I'm specifying it to be in that second location, or index 1, because remember, 0 is the first position. So that is the general gist of it. I covered the assign to with setting variables. Over in the description area, you can leave notes. The Simos tools does not actually use this column at all, but it's nice to have notes for special things. So I'm going to actually pull in, one thing I really built this tool for is for handling really big logging lists. So this is a 9.8 megabyte logging list. This is on the drive, and when I upload it, you're going to see there are 63,000, there's over 60,000 PIDs. So yeah, if we look at the unchecked ones, this is where you can, these descriptions are filled in with, different things. Some stuff, there's a lot. You can go through, you can search for different items that, might be of interest to you. One thing I like about this PID list editor is it's way more responsive than Excel or something. And it definitely works better than the Apple Numbers app. But you can search for things like tank level. So these are all these PIDs are dealing, in this case, most of these PIDs are dealing with fuel tank level. So you can read the raw value of the sensor resistances and stuff like that. Let's see here. Let's widen that a bit. Error state of fuel level. So let's take a look. This fuel tank level is unfiltered value in percentage. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. I'm going to check it. And I want to make sure that is on my fuel tab. So I'll go ahead and do that. And I'll just leave it as that name because it's whatever. But you can search for all kinds of stuff. You can look for lambda, and there is no shortage of things you can try and log that sound interesting to you. So, the sky's the limit as far as all this stuff goes. It's going to take a little bit of playing around with it. Some of these PIDs might not be necessarily perfect. review the equations, kind of look at other similar values, and just kind of go from there. So with that said, hopefully this kind of inspires you to make a logging list that you really like. And let's see here. Yeah, so the last thing to do here is basically I'm going to sort it how I want by name, sort, and then I am going to export the PID list, log list, okay, allow, and just like before, open it up, and here's a logging list, and then it's going to be just a matter of putting this on the Google Drive, and I will go ahead and import that into Simos tools, and this is going to be the logging list I'm going to continue using. So hopefully that helps. I hope to get back to the tuning aspect of things hopefully next week. Had a lot of stuff going on lately, so I can't make any promises because I had some other priorities come up, but I am trying to keep up with this. So have a good one.